Hey guys, my name's Nate and I'm the Otter Outdoorsman, and today I'm going to be talking about this plant right here. It's a vine that's all in front of me. It is a plant that I used to really hate and, for the most part, still generally do dislike. But there's one thing that I do like about it. You can eat it. Now, what plant is this? The plant is called, common name is Green Brier. The scientific name is, I will put it down here somewhere. Sorry, I have to reference my notes because I am horrible at remembering scientific names. The scientific name of it is Smilax rotundifolia, which this one is mostly the Smilax genus. But why do I dislike this plant? Ow. Is that exact reason? That was not a bit. There's not a bit at all. Let me bring you in closer, and I'll show you exactly why I've disliked this plant for so many years until I learned that you can eat it. So I started biting it back, as I like to say. These thorns. Green Brier is covered in these thorns everywhere. It's a vine that is fully covered in these vines, and it's also fully covered in these thorns. And for the longest time, when I used to be a biologist and have to bushwhack through the forest to get to sample locations, these thorns were the bane of my existence. You would hear me walking through the woods and all of a sudden hear, ow, 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 crap. Well, that's what I want to say on camera. You'd be hearing other words coming out my mouth, but ow. But things like this, these young leaves are edible. Young shoots and leaves of it, as I found, are edible. And I learned one thing. They're delicious. So I learned to bite back. It's like a peppery dark green, and it's a great salad green. So, what can you do with these plants? Well, for one, as I've said multiple times, you can eat the leaves, you can eat the young tendrils. I've read reports you can eat the young shoots. And the young thorns. I have not tried that. I've tried to find young shoots, but I've never caught them in season. They also do have berries. I've attempted to eat one of the berries, but I wasn't 100% sure of if it was the berry because of how I caught, because I didn't have leaves to identify it, but I did have this portion of it to identify. And so I tried it. I identified it by the seeds and stuff, put it in my mouth. It wasn't bad, it was dry. Because I think it was a little off season, so I spit it out, washed up my mouth. But they do have berries, and they're blue. I'd recommend reading up on it. But let me show you the leaves and give you a little bit more of identifying of it. Get myself into a little bit more of a less precarious situation. Okay, so here is a segment of it. There's a lot of them. There's a bunch of different species of them. This is just the broad, if I'm not mistaken, it's the broadleaf Green Brier. There's a bunch of different species of them, so I'd recommend referencing a wild edible guidebook. But from what I've been able to research, they're all edible. But you'd have to check me on that, but at least I know this one is. I've eaten it plenty. It is delicious. But again, what I always do recommend when you're researching a wild edible is to look it up yourself and confirm with local experts or local books before you do this. It's your body, it's different environments. Do your due diligence. I am just one resource. There's a bunch of other channels out there. I'm just one resource, and I've done my research on this. It's time, and you need to do yours as well. So this is the leaf. So what you can see, so I'm gonna sew it. What you see is the veins going down the back. Well, you have 3 radial veins, and it kind of spider webs out from there. That's one of the ways I recognize it, along with it being on the vines with thorns. Also has these tendrils, and it generally is alternating sides. So at each node, they'll be on the opposite. The leaf will be on the opposite side. Generally, when it comes to eating the leaves, the younger leaves tend to be on the sweeter side than the older leaves. The older leaves tend to be a little bit more bitter. Kind of has like a lemony pepper taste to it that I personally like. I've tried to eat the younger tendrils and stuff. They tend to be a little bit more woody. So some other uses for this that sometimes some people would like to know, and because I am an outdoorsy person, I also do some bushcrafter stuff, is this can be used like vines. I've tried using it like cordage as is. It is tough to use as that. You can't really give it a lot of bend because it will snap. It is very fragile when it doesn't have a lot of flex to it. It does have a little bit, but not a huge amount. But it does give a little bit. The problem is the thorns. There's a lot of them, so you have to clear them of the thorns, and those thorns don't want to come off. So they do take work. Doesn't matter how much you're wearing, you will get hurt, you will get poked. So I do recommend, if you are looking for something like a vine, at least in the northeast of America, these aren't bad. Just require a good amount of work. Just a lot of work to get small vines. There's probably a lot more better options out here, but in a pinch, these are abundant, they're fast growing, and salad bar. Painful salad bar, but salad bar nonetheless. Just don't want to have too much of them. They are known as a mild laxative, so if you have a huge amount of them, so mix them in with other greens. You can cook them like spinach. The other parts, like the shoots, like the shoots and the thorns, I do recommend cooking like asparagus. But those are those plants. But anyways, my name's Nate. I'm the Otter Outdoorsman. This has just been a video I've been wanting to make on Green Brier, a plant that I hate but I like to eat. Anyways, you guys have a good day. Remember, get out in the woods, have some fun, look for some new stuff, check them out. See you guys.